Hi everyone, I'm Needlecraft Danny and this is flosstube number 74. This time I have only cross stitch, but with cross stitch I have a few changes. So far I have been in the Enchanted Stitching Challenges group on Facebook and just chose my project according to the challenges in there. I'm going to change that, so I have a new rotation. I get to that after I showed you all the things I stitched on, and I show you that with my plan section, and I explain my new rotation to you. So yeah, we're doing that in the end. For now, let's start with a short life update. Last week, I was at my parents' house. So I drove down there. It took me about 6.5 hours to drive down to my parents. I live in the north of Germany. They live in the south of Germany. So yeah, about 6.5 hours, which means I was super fast actually. But yeah, I drove down there because my grandma had her birthday. And I had stitched her something, so I wanted to give it to her. I actually had my day off on her birthday, so I thought it would be really nice to actually be there for her, and to give it to her personally and not just send it with a package. So, what did I stitch her? I stitched her the lavender garden. If you are here for some time, you might have seen it. I finished it, I think, two videos ago. I showed you my finished project. Well, I had finished all the stitching. The piece, in my opinion, does not have a name. I did never find anyone on the cover. I call it Lavender Garden. It was by Rico Design. I bought it as a kit. It was my first ever cross stitch. And yeah, I stitched it. I did learn quite a few things while stitching this. For example, do not carry threads on non-full coverage pieces. But I did with that one. So in the end, I decided to do iron-on fleece on the whole back. I show you a picture of what the front of the finished piece and the back of the finished piece looked like in the end in here. And actually, my grandma put it on her coffee table right away, so there's a picture of that one in here too. She really enjoyed it. She really liked it. She actually told me she did cross stitch way back as well. I think before she even got married to my grandpa, and she married at 18, so it's been quite a while back. She got 81 this or last week, or she turned 81. So yeah, it's a while back. But yeah, she told me about it, and that she also did a tablecloth way back. But she did not really enjoy it because she did not really have the patience for it, and she really got annoyed with doing the whole thing or the same thing all the time and repeating it all the time. And yeah, it was not for her. As far as I know, she also did some knitting. But yeah, also not for her. She did not really like it a whole lot. When my mom learned it in school, she did help her, but yeah, that's basically it. My grandma never really enjoyed it, and that's fine. I mean, no one has to enjoy knitting and cross stitch and stuff. It's our hobby, and everyone chooses their own hobby. And for my grandma, it was not cross stitch or knitting, so that's fine. But I enjoyed it, and she was really happy to receive the tablecloth, especially because she knows how much work goes in there. I was not sure if she would really appreciate how much work goes in something like that, but she actually did, because she did cross stitch way back, and so yeah, that was really nice to hear actually. So really happy. She then did not allow my grandpa to put any of his glasses on the tablecloth because he is a bit clumsy. So he had to put his things elsewhere, which was kind of funny. But yeah, she really enjoyed it. She was really happy about it, and I was happy to be down there to see my family again. It's been since Christmas since I saw everyone. So yeah, it was really nice to be back home. I did not meet any friends or anything just because I wanted to be careful with COVID, and so I just stayed with my family. But yeah, that's basically life update. So, with being at my family, I did not do a whole lot of stitching. I did some, but not as much as I would have if I would have stayed up here. But with the Enchanted Stitching Challenges, I wanted to actually finish all my challenges before I left. And I left on Wednesday, and I did not get it done. That did not work out, especially because I only started stitching on Tuesday. So basically, I had 2 days. On Tuesday, I had a night shift, so Wednesday I did sleep quite a long time, and then actually started packing my things, and I left Wednesday evening. So yeah, Wednesday I did not do any stitching at all. So this week, Monday, no stitching. Wednesday, no stitching. And I think Saturday was also a non-stitching day. So this week I had 3 days without stitching. That's super rare for me. But yeah, it happens. And honestly, while at my family, I wanted to enjoy the company of my family and not sit there and stitch. I mean, it is possible to stitch and talk. And when we sat in the kitchen and my dad was cooking, my mom was laughing at him. That's just their thing. I sat there and did some cross stitch, but yeah, as I said, not a whole lot. Okay, that's been quite some talking. So now let's show you some stitching. As I said, not a whole lot. Sorry. As I said, not a whole lot of stitching. No treble stitching. For me, treble stitching is not stitching, or not entirely stitching, I do while I'll travel. It also means I do take it with me to work, or I do take it with me when I go to the car wash and have a few minutes to spend some time on stitching there, or when I go to a friend's house. So basically, instead of travel stitching, I probably should have, or should say, out of the house stitching. But I do have dedicated projects for that. But I did take them with me to my parents, but I did not stitch on them because there are a few challenges I participated in, and I wanted to first do those before I did my travel stitching. And as I said, not a whole lot of stitching, so I never got to my travel stitching. I will show you those in plans because I hope to stitch on it this week some more, but yeah, not now. For now, I have my piece of the week. So every week I decide on one project that I stitch on a little bit every day. This week it was Lilac Fairy. It's a kit by Vivaco. And with this one I kind of, the first time I had her for my weekly project, I did 3 lengths of thread every day. And 1 length of thread gets me around 40 stitches. So this time, with moving further down and into the background a little bit, I decided I would go with 120 stitches every day, and that's basically exactly what I did. I think I did 10 stitches more than the 840, which are 120 stitches every day. And I did make up for Monday that I did not stitch on. So yeah, I did quite a bit on her. So I show a picture of what she looked like last time here. And this is where I got to. So with her, I'm super happy. But yeah, I did 850 stitches, so there has to be some progress. Basically, I started taking the first missing stitch from top to bottom and then filled in 1 length of thread. And this chart is on one really big piece of paper. And it's folded into basically quarters. The lowest or the bottom quarter is the floss key or symbol key. And then there are 3/4 of chart. So I had finished the first quarter and now I wanted to finish the second quarter. so I could just fold it up and only have 1/4 of the paper there, and it is easier to look on the chart and have the chart somewhere sitting where it won't fall off because it's so big. So yeah, that's basically what I did. Picked colors from top to bottom and just finished off this middle quarter of the chart. And then I decided to move into the background on the left, pick colors from the top, started stitching. If I had thread left over, I moved on to the other side and finished my thread over there. For example, in here, there's one color that I just had enough thread to finish it over here. Nothing left, so it stays bare over here. Whenever I finish this whole thing of background on the left side of a dress, so all of this, all those flowers, then I may move over here and stitch this background before I move into her dress, because in her dress there's backstitch that's not super nice to stitch because it goes everywhere except for along the lines of the Ada squares. And there's metallic thread that does not feel nice already on the thread coat. So not looking forward to that, but yeah. She stitched on a 14 count lilac Ada 2/1, except for the background over here and a little bit in here. That's stitched 1/1 to give it a nice 3D look. The needleminder is from 1, 2, 3 stitch. And yeah, she is super beautiful. And I want to finish her this year, so it's really nice that at least she got really good progress this week. So yeah, looking forward to continue stitching on her and hopefully finishing the background soonish. Yeah, that's my Lilac Fairy. And last week, on Tuesday, I started the first challenge with her, so I actually finished that one. It was a stitch on something that you wish you would have been warned about. As I said, with her, it's the backstitching. Normally, I do not mind backstitching. I really like how things come together with backstitch. But as I said, with her, the backstitching never goes along the Ada squares. You do not only have to pierce the middle of the Ada square, but you sometimes have to pierce into the top quarter of the Ada square, and then you go 2 quarters down or 1 quarter down, and so you have to pierce the Ada in here as well, and yeah, it's not fun. So I'm not looking forward to backstitching all those swirly bits in here in her dress than here. So yeah, we'll see about her. But so far, super happy with my progress. She is beautiful. Okay, that's that one. And then I had one more challenge that I actually did on Tuesday. And that one was on Tiger Chilling Out by Dimensions. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. Stitch on a piece that has been a disaster for you or one that you aren't sure you will ever finish. About 1.5 years back, I realized that I had to frog quite a big area, and I did not look forward to that, so it lingered for about half a year. Then I finally frogged it, then it lingered for another half a year before I finally started stitching on it once again. So yeah, it has been a disaster. I show you a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I got to. And honestly, although it's not even a week, because last week I filmed on Tuesday, it feels longer than normally because I've been at my parents', so it was just not my normal routine, and it just feels like it's been longer since I filmed last. But I think I continued down here this column and probably finished this column and moved into the next one, something along those lines. But yeah, that's it. That's where I'm at. And I think I'm moving up his neck. No, the neck is down here. His throat. Moving up his throat into his head, and the columns are getting smaller because I actually get into his head. So that's pretty nice. And I'm looking forward to stitching some more on him, but probably more likely in the summer because I have a longer span of daylight, and with him I need daylight. Because he stitched on 18 count black Ada, he is stitched 2 over 1 for crosses, and a lot of the rest is stitched 2 or 3 over 1 half stitches. So the needleminder is from Denka Designs, and yeah, this is my tiger. He is beautiful. I really love how those colors on black fabric turn out, but yeah, it's just not super fun to stitch. Yeah, those were all my enchanted stitching challenges. As I said, I did not do challenge 3 and 4 because for those I would have used color in months, both of the challenges. But I never got to color in months, never did a single stitch on that one. It was just super busy, and as I said, wanted to enjoy the time with my parents. But during March there is another challenge I participate in, and this one is the March History Sprints from the Full Coverage Phonetics group. And basically there are 20 events that happened sometime during history in March. And with every day there goes a theme, or with every event there goes a theme. And I decided to pick a project that fits to the theme and stitch 100 stitches per event. So this week was not as busy as the first one was, because the first one was the busiest week with this challenge. So this week I started on Tuesday, and I started with Supersize Max Color Once Upon a Fairy Tale, charted by Having Enough Designs, and artwork is by Amy Stewart. And I think I stitched on this one twice this week. So the first one was off on the 9th of March 1873, Royal Canadian Mounted Police founded, theme horses. So there's a horse down here, there are horses over there. So I did stitch on that one for 100 stitches. And again on the 12th of March 1933, FDR conducts his first fireside chat, theme fireplace. Well, there are a lot of candles, there are some fires. I saw something else, and now I can find it. There's a big fire over here. So yeah, that fits, and I show a picture of what it looked like last time here. This is where I got to. So basically I think I finished off that square, moved down here, and I have started with this square down here where you can start to see the greenery on the stone. One thing that was kind of funny, when I started for my fireplace theme, I actually started in the lantern, so that's pretty nice. This one is stitched on 40 count 1 over 1 10 stitch, and yeah, I will be moving down here to the diagonal, not do the last block down here because that moves into the second shelf, but I will stop over here and then move along the top shelf. Really, really happy with how this one is turning out. I love the lantern. It was super confetti heavy, but yeah, it turns out beautifully, so I'm fine with that. Yeah, really happy. The needleminder is from Lakeside Needlecraft, and here we go. It's so amazing. I just love this project. And actually I showed my mom, the piece of what it will look like finished, and she was like, yeah, well, I will take that. And then I told her that I'm at 2.6% now, and I'm stitching on it for 1.5 years, and that I probably will finish it in about 50 to 70 years, and it's likely she will not live that long. And she was like, yeah, well, then toss all your other project and only stitch on this one so you can give it to me. Yeah, no, not going to happen. But yeah, that's that one. And with this one, I also stitched or started to stitch on for another challenge, but I will get back to that one in my plans. I have not forgotten about it. If you saw my last video and I told you, it's easier to do with plans later on. So you will see that one again. Okay. Next one for the history sprints was also on Tuesday, which meant I couldn't start with my enchanted stitching challenges. So yeah, I did not have the time to actually do those challenges. Okay. Also on the 9th of March 1964, the first Ford Mustang produced theme mode of transportation. So I decided to go with Norwegian Ship and Sail. It's a small edition, it's by Golden Kate. That's what it's going to look like when it's done, and I showed a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I got to. So basically I just continued with my parked threads in this column and moved further upwards. There are still quite a few parked threads in here, especially in the sky, but most of the parked threads in sails are now done. And I love how those sails turn out. They look so amazing. This one is stitched on 18 count, 2/1/4 cross, needleminders from Denka Designs. And 3 pages are already done, and I'm stitching on page number 4, which basically is my 4th page, but actually is page number 3. But yeah, those sails look amazing. And I can't wait to continue stitching on this one because I want to finish those sails. They look so good already, and I can't imagine how good they will look when they're actually done. So really looking forward to that. Really looking forward to that. So happy with this one. Only 100 stitches. If it would have been a normal week, I might have tried to finish the column, but it wasn't. So 100 stitches and I packed it away. It looks amazing. Yeah, this is Norwegian Ship and Sail. And then the next one for my March History Sprints was on the 11th of March, 1302, Romeo and Juliet's Wedding Day. Theme, love, romance, couples. Well, honestly, that's a hard one. I could have taken Once Upon a Fairy Tale once again, but I wanted to have something else, so I decided for Dragon Dancer, charted by Haven of Designs, artwork is by Anne Stokes. I think that fits too. They dance like they are a couple. Maybe a strange couple, but they look like a couple. So I did stitch on this one. I showed a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I got to, and I'm not sure if you can see any difference. Basically, I did stitch a little bit up here, and I think I moved a little bit down here with one color, and I did a bit more than 100 stitches, but yeah, that's basically it. It's stitched on 32 count white linen, and I'm stitching 2/110 stitch, and yeah. I'm getting so close to finishing off the page. But today I did stitch on this. I actually had a little bit more time than my 100 stitches, but I had a bad headache. So no stitching again. But yeah, really happy with how this is turning out, and I really look forward to stitch some more on this one to finally get that page done. But we'll see about that. So yeah, this is Dragon Dancer. And I think you will see that one again in plans. Okay, and then the last project I stitched on, which is also for the March History Sprints. I drove back up here yesterday, and because the weather wasn't super good, with a lot of rain and a lot of wind, I decided to drive a little bit earlier so I would actually drive through daylight. Normally I like to drive through night because there are less trucks on the street and less cars in general. But yesterday was Sunday, so there are less trucks anyway, because in Germany, I don't know how it is everywhere else, but in Germany, trucks are not allowed on the highways during or on Sunday, except for special deliveries or some exceptions. And they're not allowed to drive after 11 p.m. So I like to drive through the night. Less cars, less trucks. But yesterday I then decided to drive through daylight. With bad weather, it's just nicer to drive through daylight, except for and not through the dark. And it was Sunday, so there were less trucks anyway. So yeah, that's basically what I did. And after I came back up, I arrived here at around 7:30 p.m. So that was really a nice time. And then I did some more stitching, and I knew that I wanted to do this one when I came back home because, yeah, and my parents, I woke up, we ate breakfast, I packed my things and basically left. So I knew that all the stitching that happened yesterday would have to happen after I came home. Okay. And the one I stitched on, first thing after I got home yesterday, was for the 14th of March 1794. Eli Whitney patents the cotton gin, themed clothing of any type. So I went with Mini Cinderella, charted by Heaven Enough Designs. The artwork is by Alexandra Daw. That's what it's going to look like when it's done, and there's a big part of the clothing. I thought about moving into her actual dress. I think I would have been able to count there, but yeah, I just wanted to continue where I'm at, so that's what I did. I showed a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I got to. This was actually the first time I did stitch on it this year. I had one length of brighter gray still parked over here, so I finished that thread. And then I moved, I think, in here and started stitching with our darker gray. And I think probably cannot see quite a lot, but I did fill in some in here. I basically am close to finishing page number 1. But page number 1, to finish that, I would have needed a blend of Krennic blending filament 032 and B5200. And I did not feel like stitching that, so I moved into the page below, which I think is page number 4 or 5. I think 4. And started filling in the missing colors in here. But yeah, that's basically it. So going back to this project, I might actually finish page number 1. But yeah, this is stitched on a 28 count ice blue even weave, 1/1 full cross. Needleminder is from Denka Designs, and yeah, I'm looking forward to going back to this one. I want to finish it this year, if it's possible. My goal is only 9,126 stitches, which will get me to a bit more than 40%. But finish it would be really nice, because then I think I might be able to finish a full coverage piece every year for the next 4 or 5 years, and that's nice. But yeah, we'll see about that. Here we go, Mini Cinderella. And I have way too much fabric down here, but yeah, that just happens. I did not feel like cutting it, so I left it. Yeah, that's her. As I said, first time stitching on her this year, with her being my focus full coverage piece. Not turning out the way I wanted to. But yeah, that's just the way it is. Okay, now let's move into plans. First of all, I'm going to show you my piece for travel stitching, or my outside of the house stitching, which is the Twisted Band Sampler by Northern Expressions Needlework. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I'm presently in band number 8, trying to do all those specialty stitches. It's stitched on 32 count white opalescent linen. I'm stitching 1/2, and the needleminder is from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. So yeah, that's where I'm at. So, travel stitching. Just wanted to show you real quick, because I plan to continue stitching on this one and taking it with me. And as I go to work this week once again, this will come with me. And yeah, just showing you now so that next week you know what I'm talking about. Okay. And then let's move back to the size McCullough Once Upon a Fairy Tale. As I said, I'm coming back to this one. And I'm coming back to this one for the Whip Go weekend. I'm so happy that Justin Marie Does Stuff forgot to post it, or did not get to post it until Friday afternoon, because she posted it so late. She decided to run it through to Monday evening, so today evening. That sounds strange. Which makes me super happy, because I did not get to stitching on it, so I will have to do that all today. Whip Go weekend. Whip Go is a bingo bingo board. And as it's been a while, I decided to bring mine with me. So basically 25 squares, you put your projects in and the goal for the end of the year. You can also do monthly goals. I decided to put my year-end goals in. So every project is in here once, except for my Fancy Lady full coverage pieces, because this year is the year of the Fancy Lady. So those are in here twice, and every full coverage piece is in here with 4,563 stitches. So with my Fancy Lady full coverage, they are in here twice. Every time with those 4,563, so many Canadian crunches here and here, both time 4,563. So overall 9,126, which is my year goal on those. As you can see, every month they get 2 projects called, except for 1 month. Whenever this one gets called, there will be 3 called, and it was actually during January. Whenever the projects get called, I pencil it in. And when I have finished my goal, it gets a check mark. I finished 1 goal for Lavender Garden to finish it. None of my other goals are met yet, but that's fine as they are my year-end goals. 4-week WIPGO weekend. Every month there's 1 weekend where you try to stitch on the projects that got called during the month. This month, square number 10 got called, so Supersize Max Color Once Upon a Fairy Tale. And square number 24, which for me is Story Keep the Frog Prince. And you set yourself a weekend goal, a goal that you want to reach during the weekend. And for me, every weekend, it's the same. On every project, 300 stitches. During January, as I had 3 projects, I decided to do 200 stitches on every project. But from now on, I will do 300 stitches per project. Well, on Once Upon a Fairy Tale, I did 100 because I did those anyway for the March History Sprints challenge. So I still need 200 stitches on this one. So I'm going to continue on that, moving further along into those squares down here. So I'm doing that. And then the second project for WIPGO, as I said, is Story Keep the Frog Prince. Artwork is by Melanie Delland, charted by Evelyn of Designs. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And I have not yet started with this one for the WIPGO weekend, so that will be a goal for today. I will have, hope to get those 2 done today, and my daily project, and so on and so on. But yeah, this is Story Keep the Frog Prince. Also going in diagonals on this one, it's stitched on 32 count ice blue linen 2/110 stitched needleminder from Denka Designs. And I lost my needle with this one. But yeah, I think last time during my video, and I did not stitch on it again, so no new needle. But yeah, going to continue in here, 300 stitches. Will not get me the diagonal, but will not get me a finish on the diagonal. But yeah, nevertheless, looking forward to continue stitching on this one, because so far I did 200 stitches this year, which is not a lot. Okay, those are the WIPGOs, which I will have to finish today. So those will be the first things I do after I finish uploading this video. And then, so I was already done with my video and started editing, and I realized I forgot something. And the thing I forgot is that I actually have this week March History Sprints Challenge as well. Only 1 project this week, but yeah, I did not want to skip that. So on the 17th of March, 1753, the first official St. Patrick's Day. Theme, Green Island Rainbow. And with this one, I could have prepared better, especially considering that I just came back on video for this one. I'm going to stitch on Supersize Max Color Once Upon a Fairy Tale for this one as well. There's a lot of green, especially over here. You can say it reminds you of Ireland, I think. So yeah, I'm just going with this one once again for 100 stitches on the 17th of March. And the project is over here. So for the WIPGO weekend, I will need 2 more squares in here, and then 1 more for the 17th of March for my March History Sprints Challenge. Okay, back to the video. I have no idea where I will put this in, so I will try to figure that out. But yeah, back to the video and probably just saying goodbye. See you! Once again, or let's start differently. And then we're into my new rotation. I decided for my new rotation, I will have 5 projects every week. One project will be my weekly project, like I have had it since the beginning of the year. One project I try to get to every day of the week for a little bit of stitching. Then I will have one project which is a non-full coverage project that can be a fancy lady but does not have to. One project that is a fancy lady non-full coverage piece. As 2021 for me is the year of fancy ladies. So one full coverage, non-full coverage can be a fancy lady, cannot be a fancy lady, and one non-full coverage that definitely is a fancy lady. So it might happen that I stitch on 2 different fancy ladies during a week. Then I have one full coverage piece, can be a fancy lady, does not have to, and one fancy lady full coverage piece. So yeah, basically 2 non-full coverage pieces, 2 full coverage pieces. One of those has to be a fancy lady, the other one can but does not have to. Basically, I wrote my projects down in alphabetical order and I'm just going through from top to bottom. Fancy ladies will skip a few, and for the other one, I'm just going through completely through all of them. I presently have 8 non-full coverage pieces and 11 full coverage pieces. With those 5 projects, one being done every day of the week, I have 4 projects left in 7 days, which basically means 2 days every project, except for one that only gets 1 day. This project will be the one that I just don't feel like stitching on, something like that. But basically, I try for 2 days every project. I hope everyone understood what I meant. So I decided 4 projects this week. This week I did not start from the top, but I just chose a project I felt like stitching on, and from now on I'm going to go in alphabetical order. So my daily piece, the one that I'm stitching on every day of the week, is or will be Cinderella Rags to Riches by Joan Elliott. I'm going to stitch the combined version. You can do it in 2 pieces, but yeah, I'm going to go with the combined version. So I show you where I'm at with that one. Big roll, so it's kind of complicated. This is where I'm at, so I probably try to focus on her and maybe do a little bit more in the window, maybe start some beading. She is stitched on 28 count casual linen by Picture This Plus in the colorway Fog. The needleminder is from Denka Designs. Yeah, I love her face, and I love to continue, or would love to continue, on her head and in her hair to make her look a little bit more finished. So yeah, that's her. Every day of the week, a little bit will get me, or should get me, to progress. Maybe on Sunday I will do the beading. Not sure. I want to do some beading because there are a lot of beads floating around everywhere in this piece, and yeah, I just have to get there. Okay, my non-full coverage fancy lady this week will be Raven Queen by Mirabilia. That's what she's going to look like when she's done. I want to finish the top half, so I have to do quite a bit, and I'll show you where I'm at. This is where I'm at, so I'm going to continue in this corner up here to just finish everything from top to bottom. She's stitched on 32 count gray linen. I think it's pearl gray, but I'm not sure. It might also be smoke, by Belfast. And the reminder is from Denka Designs. And yeah, there's me. So yeah, continuing over here. 1 or 2 days, not a whole lot. of time, but yeah, we'll see how much I can get done. With her, I also thought about starting to bead the corner of the frame just to finish everything from top to bottom, but we'll see about that because I do not need a whole lot of beads with that, and maybe I do the beading on her when I do the beading on Cinderella, because then I have my beads out already and I can just do it on both projects, something like that. Okay, my normal non-full coverage piece. This week I did not want to start with 2 Fancy Lady non-full coverage pieces, so I decided on Sleepy Hollow by Glennon Place. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And this one I want to finish the top row of pages, so I have quite a bit to do on this one as well. So I show you where I'm at. This is where I'm at. This is stitched on the Calls for Fabric, which is a 28 count casual linen by Pictures Plus in the colorway Haunted. Probably going to continue a little bit down here in the frame and maybe backstitch a little bit of the tree, or just stitch a little bit more on the tree to be able to backstitch. But we'll see about that. Yeah, super happy. The needleminder is from Denka Designs, and I'm looking forward to stitching some more on this one. As I said, I really want to continue on this tree. But someday I will have to move into the moon over here, because that moon is a lot of stitching. Okay. Sorry, I have to roll it up. It's so much stuff lying around here that I really want to do everything in here. But yeah, we'll see. Okay. Then my normal full coverage piece for next week. Again, I did not want to start with Fancy Lady full coverage, so I decided to go with Colorado Mountains by Golden Kite, especially because I wanted to stitch on this one anyways last week and just did not. So I thought, why not this week? This is what it's going to look like when it's done. And you will have seen it last week already. But yeah, as I said, I did not stitch on it, so I show you once again. This is where I'm at. It's stitched on 25 count 2 over 110 stitch, needleminder from Denka Designs. And I'm basically, or presently, stitching in this page over here, moving along in columns, hopefully finishing it soon, because then I can move down here. But yeah, this is where I'm at. I'm really happy with this one, and can't wait to get some more done on it. Yeah. Here we go. Again, I have to roll it up, so it will take us a little bit of time. But yeah. And then we move to the next one, or last one, which is my Fancy Lady full coverage for the week. And where is it? With this one, I'm going with Dragon Dancer, artwork by Anne Stokes, charted by Heaven of Designs, because I really want to finish that page. So I show you once again where I'm at. And while talking about this one, I realized I probably have not shown you a picture of what it looked like last week, because I forgot to take a picture. I don't know why. I will try to find one. You probably will have seen something, but not my normal picture of the overall piece. But yeah. Yeah, in 1 or 2 days I should be able to finish the page, so really looking forward to that. That has to happen. I mean, it's not a whole lot missing, and it's not a whole lot missing since the beginning of the year. And I always do a little bit, but never enough to actually get the page done. So yeah, I want to do that really soonish. So yeah, that's that. Happy with that one. And that's everything I plan to stitch on. I know it's been a lot. I did not do any knitting or crochet, as I said, just not a really busy week. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I have no idea how long it is. I feel like I talked forever, I hope you understood everything. If you have any questions, just ask me below. I know that especially explaining some new rotations and stuff can get super complicated and messy because, well, English is not my first language, and sometimes I have problems explaining stuff. I do have problems explaining stuff in German, and now I have to do it in English. So yeah, it can get kind of messy. But yeah, I hope you understood everything. I hope you enjoyed, and I try to be back on next Monday. So see you then. Bye.